You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, a 70-man Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency. So y'all, before we jump into it, I wanted to let y'all know that the Patreon is now up. We've got bronze, silver, and gold tiers, $5, $10, and $15 respectively. Each of those tiers will give you permanent access to our community Discord server, and gold tier patrons will receive their very own customized avatar portrait. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Jumping into Wes's path. Alright. Everyone, move slowly towards the back of the car. A stray coin slides off the table and towards the front of the carriage, and the whole thing tips forward, plummeting downwards and sending the furniture on another journey across the carriage. I stopped it! You feel your stomach rise in your throat, weightless in the near freefall. Actually, freefall would be better. As it stands now, the five of you are careening down a bumpy hill, occasionally leaving the ground only to slam back down with a sickening crunch of wood. Out the door! A particularly nasty bump dislodges you from your perch, about to throw you against the furniture piled up at the front of the car when something catches your collar. Watch it! Now you're choking, the hem of your shirt pressing against your throat. Somewhere you can't see, there's a low, heavy thunk and a crack. Suddenly the sound of your barreling down the hill is much clearer. Someone must have busted down the door. Straining for breath, you tap Cedric's arm and surrender. Shit! Sorry! Cedric lets you go, and gravity throws you, a bit less violently than if he hadn't caught you, against an upturned table. From your sprawled position, you see Wes leaning half of his body out of the moving car, one hand on the frame, one hand back towards the cabin. Cliff ahead! Luke furiously ties a loop at one end of a heavy rope, muttering the whole time about Boy Scouts and bullshit. He presses this end into Wes's hand. Wes braces himself against the doorframe and readies the rope like a lasso. Kieran, your sword! Luke knots the other end of the rope. He looks around the room for something to secure it to. The sword! You finally understand what Cedric is saying and fumble for the scabbard at your waist. Your hands are sweaty as you unsheath it, awkwardly trying to find your footing amidst the constantly changing gravity. Stab it into the floor. With two hands, you plunge the sword into the floor of the carriage, piercing through the carpet and wood like butter. Wait, I got a tree! The rope is quickly disappearing out the door. Luke wastes no time throwing it over the hilt of your sword, and the five of you feel the front wheels of the cart begin to pitch precariously forward. And then the rope goes taut, jerking the carriage to a sudden halt. Your body is tossed forward and back by the whiplash. That's gonna hurt in the morning. Out! Get out right now! He ushers the rest of the group out. Remus extends a hand to help you to your feet, which you gratefully accept. The sword! It'll be fine. We need to get the carriage away from the cliff face first. Battered, bruised, and exhausted, the party pulls back the carriage from the edge of the cliff. The basin at the bottom looks like it was once carved out by a roaring river, but at the present there's a more modest stream of water flowing through. Once the cart is stabilized, you retrieve your sword, unbent and unscratched, and resheath it at your hip. The sword can't be pulled out by anyone other than you, not even by the force of a carriage careening down the hill. The physics of that are a little bit troubling, but not as much as the fact that anyone can stab with your sword, but you're the only one that can pull it out. You're good at wedging a sword into places where it can't be taken out. Great. You were hoping for something a little cooler, but it feels inappropriate to complain right at this moment. You join the rest of the group as they sit around the grass. It appears as though our journey will require a detour. Remus retrieves the map from his side and spreads it at the bottom of the grassy knoll, looking a little disappointed. We can follow the river. There's a town, Convivience, not far from here. At the same time, Wes frowns and Luke lights up. Are you sure that's the closest? Convivience? That's supposed to be a book there I'm looking for. Wes, do you not want to go? Wes's frown grows deeper, but he only shakes his head. It's fine. Good, because that's the book I need to come in. That book I need is going to come in handy. There's another guy who's theorized making magic into numbers, the true grimoire. But he did it in reverse. If you can break down magic into its most basic principles, you can use that like building blocks to make anything. Numbers into magic. We don't have time. We should probably focus on our main quest. Luke quirks an eyebrow at you, amused, seeming to say that he'll look for it with or without your blessing. After you disperse, Cedric calls over from the carriage, where he's squatted by a broken wheel. Thinking, water time. Alrighty. The wheel didn't just break on the road. I could have told you that. People don't make wheels that snap when they go over pebbles. Then what did? Cedric runs his thumb over a missing part of the rim. It's smooth. If it snapped, there'd be splinters. Must have been an unfortunately timed pocket of void. Is it possible it was done on purpose? Only if earthquakes or thunderstorms can be done deliberately. There's no void gods, it's just a part of the world. It just happens. At this point, you just hope you don't have to walk. The sun high above you, the five of you follow the river until your feet ache. The mood is sullen. Even Wes, normally stoic, looks pessimistic about your prospects. Remus keeps staring at the map, muttering occasionally that your surroundings don't exactly match what's depicted. Eventually, a town looms in the distance, dotted with red-roofed houses and white plaster walls. It's placed right by the river, which stretches a little wider here, water lapping gently by wooden docks. The river is calmer than expected. Not only that, but as you grow closer to the town, you spot a raised drawbridge that would allow you to cross the river. You could bypass the forest and the mines and cliffs altogether. Remus seems to draw the same conclusion, because he furrows his brow and rubs his chin in thought. It's well into the afternoon by the time you arrive at Convivience. Perhaps we should rest here for the night. Wes blanches. We can keep going. We'll camp just outside of town. We're making good progress anyway. No, I think I'd like to speak to someone about why the drawbridge wasn't on the map. That simply isn't right. And I want to find my book! Cedric doesn't speak up, but he does look pretty tired. Let's keep going. Maybe better to keep moving? Let's see, what does Cedric want to do? Maybe better to keep going? Wes looks to you with conflicting emotions warring on his face. We should keep going. Cedric looks worse off than anyone else, eyes drooping and feet dragging. Luke sighs. That's 3-2. Very well, we should first ascertain when the bridge will be lowered. As Remus turns towards the direction of the bridge, a guard approaches the group. Halt! Under orders of the Mayor of Convivience, no one is to leave the town until we apprehend the culprit behind the attempted murder of Lord Bolgia. And how long will that take? If the guard recognizes the king of the entire realm, he doesn't show it. As long as it takes, citizen. Luke's eyebrows rise. Did someone say murder mystery? Attempted murder. All I'm hearing is reason to stay. Come on, we solve this murder and get out of town. Catch a break, maybe look for some books in the meantime. Win-win. Did you say Bozia? I know the Bozias. If anyone's after them, it's the rival family, House Remirant. Good. You four seem to have this under control. Investigate the attempt on Lord Bozia's life, and we will continue in the morning. He turns around without waiting for an answer, his cape whisking behind him and disappearing into the crowd. Cedric sighs, his breath shaky as it exits his nostrils. Let's head to the Bozias. Maybe we can find more information there. We should rest. Do you need a break? We can grab a room. I'll grab a room for him. You two solve the murder, and I'll find a nice bookstore to read him a bedtime story from. No, I'm fine. Let's go. The four of you approach the Bozia Manor. A heavy golden knocker is embedded in the mouth of a small caniform. Knock. You rap twice on the dark wooden door. You hear people talking inside. I'll wait outside. Luke grabs him by the back of the shirt. A second, y'all. Nope. Hey, if I'm sacrificing looking for the secrets of the universe for this, you can stand around for 5 seconds. A voice emanates from the knocker. Hello? Lady Bozia, this is Cedric, working for the Crown. We met many moons ago. My acquaintances and I are here to investigate your husband's case. There's a long silence on the other end. You begin to think she's ignoring you, when finally a sigh breaks the silence and the door clicks open. It's Electra. Mother's not here right now. I'll be upstairs. There's no one on the other side. You step into a lavish foyer with a fireplace crackling in its hearth. Oh, you've ruined it. There's a young man standing in the center of the room, back to the four of you. He holds a sheet of paper with writing on it in one hand. What? I'm sorry? It's no issue. It's not as though I was practicing for my father's funeral. He sighs loudly and turns to face you, his face puckered like he's just tasted something sour. He makes eye contact with Wes and freezes. You hear Wes's breath catch behind you. Wesley? Sky? Oh, no! You look well. Sky sniffs indignantly, a cool air settling between the two of them. I, should go. I have to find somewhere for us to stay for the night. Stay here. The Bougie estate has multiple guest rooms. We couldn't possibly impose. I see. And not that you stayed in any of said guest rooms when you were over. Oh, God! Oh, God is right. This is painful. What do you mean when you were over? Wes's eye twitches. He looks like he wants to shrivel up and die. He hasn't told you. Well, a gentleman never kisses and tells. You can't tell if he's talking about himself or Wes. Both prospects make your jaw tense. The feeling catches you off guard and you force yourself to relax. That's not what we're here about. We're trying to find who made an attempt on your father's life. My father went to sleep last night and never woke up. He's not dead, at least not yet, but I'm preparing just in case. Woke up? Not yet, preparing. What are you preparing for? His funeral, of course. I wouldn't want to be caught without a touching eulogy as his only son. Woke up. When did he go to sleep? After dinner, as always. He had his usual glass of wine and passed out upstairs. Father usually wakes up at the crack of dawn and goes for a run, but he never woke up this morning. And believe me, we tried to wake him up. Not yet? Why do you think he's going to die? Sky shrugs. Father's a powerful man. He has a lot of enemies. He always believed someone would try to poison him. This guy is starting to get on your nerves. Most people process grief in different ways. Oh, right, because your dad died, so this reminds you of that. Is it his situation or his attitude that's familiar? Everyone here needs to go outside. You shake your head to clear your thoughts. You need to focus. Don't you feel even a bit sad that your dad might be dying? It's a little bit suspicious. Is there an inheritance if he dies? If you think I'm getting anything, think again. Electra's his favorite. Electra? My sister. She was supposed to leave today to get married, but, well, you know. Father's dying. She's upstairs if you want to talk to her. He glances down at the paper in his hand again, then looks up, like he's surprised to see you still here. Thanks. We'll go talk to her now, if that's all right. Upstairs, the king has been moved to a guest room to rest. It might not be a proper bedroom, but the place is extravagant nevertheless. Thick blue drapes hang from a window overlooking the courtyard. Opposite it is a beautiful armoire of polished wood that looks expensive. A young woman sits on the edge of the extravagant king-sized bedding, dabbing at Lord Bogier's forehead in it with a damp cloth. His eyes are closed, and he shudders infrequently in his unconscious state. She notices you enter, and her eyes widen. Cedric, it's good to see you again. You too. I heard you're getting married. Electra sighs. Like there's no good way to answer the question. Yes, an arranged marriage. I was supposed to leave today, but the roads are closed. And Allie? She's fine. Electra nods towards the blade hanging from his waist, clearly eager to change the subject. It's like, water time. Ah! I'm glad to see you make use of our gift. Cedric nods. He looks almost as exhausted as the Lord. Of course, we'd like to help your father any way we can. I don't know what happened. He had dinner with the Remerants last night. If anyone wanted to see him gone. Did anything out of the ordinary happen last night? Why were you having dinner? It was a farewell party to send me off. Maybe they were trying to strike while I was gone. But you weren't leaving until this morning. If anything, your father's death prevented you from leaving. Who would benefit from you staying? The Remerants, maybe? Sky isn't ready to take over the business, and if I wasn't married yet, we wouldn't have an alliance we could lean on. So, poison in the dining room by the Remerants. Case closed. Why hasn't anyone been arrested? Electra's lips pull together into a tight line. There's no evidence, which doesn't mean that they haven't done it. So, what we need are clues. We have to check out their place. Luke promptly marches out the door like a man on a mission, Wes close on his tail. Wait! Cedric sighs. They've already left. He hovers by the foot of the bed, watching the weak rise and fall of Lord Bogier's form. He cocks his head as he seems to study something on the Lord's hand. Hey, what happened to your father's ring? Electra glances over to where Cedric is looking. She shrugs. I don't know. Maybe he took it off when he went to bed. Cedric frowns. Maybe it was stolen by whoever did this. Cedric rubs his chin in thought and starts to head for the door, motioning for you to follow. Thanks for your time, Electra. We'll find out who did this to your father. Yeah, we'll be right back. On your way to your next destination, you fall in line with Wes, behind the others. Alright guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. Go check out that Patreon, y'all. Bye-bye!